How much do you know about backyard gardening? How much do you want to know about it? Stay tuned for this week's episode of Get the Facts. Also coming up, Arts Page takes you on a visual treat through the busy and bustling streets of downtown Kingston. You don't want to miss it. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to this Sunday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Without a doubt, tourism is Jamaica's #1 industry, and our dedicated workers are its greatest asset. Jamaica would not be the heartbeat of the world without you. As the industry rebounds from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, we truly need all hands on deck, yours included. Vaccination holds the hope for tourism's full recovery. In addition to COVID-19 protocols, it is the only comprehensive way to fight the pandemic and save lives. I am therefore urging every worker in the tourism and hospitality industry, in all the subsectors, including accommodation, attractions, entertainment, transportation and craft, to do your part and get vaccinated. Do it for yourself, your family, your workplace, and your community. Do it for Jamaica, land we love. Stay safe. Get vaccinated.
How are you managing the rise in food prices? Need a solution? We've got you covered, as today we have representatives from RADA ready to let you in on all the facts on backyard gardening.
Welcome to Get the Facts. This is the program that provides you with information on government policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. We are encouraged to live by the slogan, eat what we grow and grow what we eat. And while we support our farmers in this regard, another way is to engage in backyard gardening. Agricultural Land Management Officer Robert Tulloh is guest for the first segment to guide us on how to do this successfully. Welcome to the program, Mr. Tulloh.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, let's jump right into getting the facts. Why should I backyard garden?
Backyard garden is simple fact that you burn some cholesterol, and it's a pleasure to see what you're growing, and it will be a hobby in the long run.
Would it be cheaper?
It will be cheaper. It will be cheaper. You grow your own tomato. You know, it feels good when you know you go out there and pick your own plant, pick your own fruit, yes, reap your own vegetable, than go into a supermarket and purchase.
All right. So you're selling me on this. You're selling me on this so far. Good job so far. All right. So it's not, you have land in your backyard, front yard, side yard, wherever. How do I go about preparing the land for planting? What do I do first?
Ensure your land is free from the undesired, that you have debris, stones, leaves, plastics. Ensure that your land is free from all those things what is undesired, right, free from weeds.
Right.
And also, even if you don't have land.
All right, so hold on, we're going to get to you if I don't have land, but I want to finish the land part of it. So free up the place so that there is nothing competing with what I plant.
Yes.
Okay. How do I decide where to put the plants? Can I just plant anything anywhere?
You can plant anywhere, right, as long as it's planted in the soil. But sometimes, for example, if you live in a dormitory community where a lot of those soil is limestone, you can add amendments like your organic matter, some topsoil. You can just pass a construction site where they're building a home, get some topsoil from there, put it on your land and
right,
do planting.
Okay, so just clarify this for me. The idea is to make the soil nutritious for the
Right,
plant.
because The soil, especially your topsoil, is where production and productivity takes place. That's the first 6 to 8 inches of your soil. So when you add your soil amendments, your horse manure, your poultry manure, those are things that enhance your soil.
I get you. So you have soil and you have soil.
Yes.
For growing. All right. So I've prepared my plot of land. I am now ready to plant. Where do I get the things to plant?
You can contact your RADA officers. Then they will advise you and assist you in getting planted material. And also there are outlets where they sell seedlings and seeds to plant, vegetable seeds. I will encourage persons to plant their vegetables and fruits.
So RADA is in all parishes of Jamaica?
Yes, RADA is right across the length and breadth of Jamaica.
So we won't have any issues there. All right, I want to go back to what you were saying before. We were talking about backyard gardening, but some people, who I will not name, may not have backyards or spaces in the dirt. How do these people approach this?
And before I go there, I want you to get that notion of dirt out of your head. Use this term soil.
Right, soil.
Soil, a living organism where your plants will grow.
Yes.
Dirt, which you remove from your house, that is dead.
Fair enough, fair enough.
You can use containers. Put your container. Sometimes you have window ledges, you can place a container on your window ledge. Sometimes you have a deck roof, you can place containers on your roof.
Right.
Persons in Kingston and St. Andrew has been planting strawberries and other produce on their roof. Even bananas have been planted on their roof in containers.
Bananas in pot?
Bananas in pot.
Wow.
So it does not matter if you have a backyard or a front yard, there are containers. So containerized gardening is also a part of backyard gardening.
But I'm sure that the size of the container impacts the plant. Is that something we should be concerned about, or anything?
Yes. For example, if you're planting a banana, one of those 5-gallon bucket can be used. Instead of like planting a tomato, you can use a smaller pot. Ice cream containers. So those are some of the containers that can be used to plant your vegetables and the fruit trees in.
All right, so we've discussed, you've cured me of the notion of dirt. Right. So we've discussed soil, we've discussed where to get the seeds, we've discussed planting. But I know nothing grows if it doesn't have water. All right, so help me out with the idea of water management here.
Water is essential for plant growth and development. Without enough water, the plant will die. Without too much water, it also kills the plant. Because in the soil there are air pockets.
Yes.
And in those air pockets, water forces out the air, and the plants need that air to take up the nutrients. So if you overwater, you will kill the plant.
No air.
Right. You will suffocate the plant. The soil will become waterlogged and the plant will die. Too little water will also deprive the plant of water also, because plants drink, plant does not eat.
Right.
So water management is key. So, for example, a sweet pepper, you water it this morning and then you water it in the afternoon. So you do not water it during the middle.
Straight through the day.
Sun.
Right. Oh, okay.
Because what happened, plant have a thing called stomata. Just like you have your lungs for breathing.
Right.
The plant have the stomata. So what happened during the midday sun, when the heat is on, the plant will close its stomata.
So not a great time for absorption.
Right.
Understood.
So when the stomata is closed, what will happen, the plant is storing what is already inside that plant.
To add more than now is just to drown it.
Right.
Understood. We've gotten quite a few of the facts so far from Mr. Tuller at RADA. Thank you for sharing all of that information. But we're going to go to our break now. And as you begin taking your notes and getting ready to garden like a pro, don't go anywhere. Joel Price, another specialist at RADA, will continue the conversation on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
The Transplant application was created by the Transport Authority for the protection of the commuting public. please download the TravelPad application on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Once you download the application, put in your phone number, register the application under your phone number, and then you'll be able to verify the license plate that you're going in. Once you verify the license plate and the information of the vehicle, you will then be able to share that trip of the vehicle that you're in. And if there is difficulty on the trip, you would then will be able to push a panic button and share your location with others as well. Download the application, give us our feedback at customerservice@ta.org.jn. Don't forget, it's free to download, free to use.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. You may need a pen and paper for this next segment or the note-taking app on your device as we get more technical in our discussion on how to be successful at backyard gardening. Agricultural Land Management Officer, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, Joel Price, picks up that area of the discussion. Welcome to the program, Mr. Price.
Thank you, Theodore.
The number one thing I believe that we should start this segment of the conversation is the land is prepared. What should I plant? What sorts of plants should I seek to plant?
What should you plant? What would you want to plant? What do you want to eat?
Callaloo.
Well, when you look at backyard gardening, you want to grow the crops that you want to consume.
Right, right.
But primarily, you want to focus on crops that will come into production within 3 months, thereabout.
So no long growth cycle. You want to can plant it and reap it.
Remember, it is a small space that you're working with. You want to maximize your production, so what you can get from it.
Oh, no, that brings up an interesting question about crop rotation in my head. Is that something that is encouraged?
Oh, most definitely. Crop rotation is something that we need to practice for more reasons than one, of course.
Yes.
You want to, crop rotation helps to manage your soil nutrients while managing your pest population at the same time.
On crop rotation still, and you mentioned soil nutrients, is it that my planting tree that I'm about to go and plant and my peppers use different nutrients from the soil?
Well, definitely. The different crops require different nutrients in different quantities.
Oh, okay.
So while one crop might use more nitrogen, another might use more potassium. So crop rotation will help you to manage those nutrients that is in the soil.
I understand. Let's do another thing. Transplanting. And I've heard the term intercropping. Could you help us understand what those two things mean?
Okay, so transplanting is you removing your seedling from the nursery stage.
Right.
In a lot of cases, it would be you would sow the seeds in seed trays.
Rather than planting it directly
in the ground.
Okay.
Crops that the seeds are very small, you tend to put those in nursery.
Tomato.
Like tomatoes.
Okay.
You would put those in nursery or in the seed trays to reach a stage where they can be planted out directly in the soil.
Right.
As opposed to crops that has seeds that are bigger. Like maybe a corn, even though you can still sow your corn in nursery.
Right.
But after the crop is ready to be planted out directly in the soil, that process is called transplanting. So you're removing your seedling from the nursery area into the direct soil.
Okay. What's the benefit of that instead of just planting it in the ground?
Well, it is like growing a child. You want to ensure that you nurture your child before you actually put them out to the harsh conditions.
Right.
So you want to help them to pass the delicate stage of their life before you introduce them to the hostile environment.
Perfect example. Intercropping.
Intercropping is another important aspect. I mean, you're using a small space. You want to maximize it as best as possible.
Right.
You want to put in as much as you can. So while you're doing that, you have to bear in mind the spacing requirement for your different crops.
Right.
You want to intercrop with crops that are compatible with each other, or will not necessarily compete with each other,
But
they will
okay.
complement each other.
Ah. So, okay, this is going to show my ignorance, but I love planting. So I would planting. I have a planting tree here, a planting tree there. They can't be too close together, but the space is enough for a couple of pepper trees. Kind of like
That can be accommodated, but you have to bear in mind, what most crops require, full sunlight or
Right.
access to full sunlight.
Right.
What you don't want is a situation where your plantings shade your other crop for most of the day.
Yes.
So as long as you're able to still have sunlight coming in and reaching your crop, then that is also allowed.
I hope you are taking notes. A lot of information coming out here about backyard gardening. Now, there's one thing that we can't get away from. Bugs and pests. They are everywhere. How do we deal with them? And perhaps I should ask first, which ones are dangerous generally to the crops that we would normally plant?
Well, pests and disease are unfortunate realities that we have to contend with. In backyard gardening, it is no different. You have to put measures in place to first mitigate against this, and if needs be, you have to put measures in place to treat with.
Right.
So the first thing to bear in mind, you want to start with clean planting material. So you don't want to plant crops that are infested with pests or is infected with a disease.
Like when you see those little, what you call them, the little eggs under the leaf, you can't plant that.
Or if you can remove that leaf or remove the bugs, then what you want is to plant it without these pests. So field sanitation, good field sanitation is probably the key to backyard gardening. That's the main part of you managing your pest and disease.
So if I take those steps, but my callalone now has pests, I'm seeing them eating through the leaves, what steps that wouldn't be harmful or detrimental to the environment could I take to counter that pest problem?
Well, of course, first you need to scout your field regularly. It is a small space that you're working with, so it means that you're able to inspect your field regularly on a daily basis. You can look on the side of the leaves
there, yeah.
Right, because that is where the pests usually hide. Because most of the time they are trying to hide from
the
sun and also from you as well. So once you expose them, you can take measures to get rid of them. You can, for example, you can manually remove them and crush them for like your slugs and your snails.
Oof.
Yes. There are home remedies that you can also use, like your soap, your liquid soap. You can mix that and spray on the leaves.
I've heard about vinegar.
Yes. And you'll hear, different places you go, people might have different techniques that may work.
Right.
You can try a combination of those.
Okay.
There are also, chemicals that are biological.
And safe.
And are pretty much safe to use.
Man, we have so much to learn. Perhaps you need to come back and finish this conversation.
And I'd be happy to.
You'll be happy to. Wonderful. I can tell you how my planting tree is doing. But we appreciate you taking the time to discuss backyard gardening with us. This has been Get the Facts. Our guests were Agricultural Land Management Officers of RADA, Robert Tulloh and Joel Price. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.
I really hope that those who are listening to my voice will take an introspection of themselves and check out how they have been operating the motorcycle. Are you operating with a helmet, an elbow pad, a knee pad, a jacket, a shoulder pad? Are you wearing shoes instead of slippers? Have you removed the mirrors from the motorcycles? Obedience better than sacrifice. Do the right thing. Are you going to ensure that you buckle up in the motor vehicle and the persons in the motor vehicle behind your back, your passengers, are they buckle up? Are you going to ensure that? Are you going to give yourself adequate time to reach your destination so that you don't have to be in any haste, so that you don't help to clog up the health sector? Nobody should be going to the hospitals because of traffic crashes. Nobody. They are preventable, they are avoidable. We can make better choice than that.
Art has the power to transform, to inspire, and to motivate. Arts Page will take you on a journey next.
After getting your fresh produce at the Coronation Market, make your way through the busy and bustling streets of downtown Kingston to the edge of the 7th largest natural harbor in the world. What you'll find is an art haven of bright, beautiful, breathtaking murals. Welcome to the Arts Page. You're in for a visual treat. Art has the power to revive, and through this, the once abandoned-looking buildings in downtown Kingston now don freshly painted murals, transforming the area into an artistic hub abuzz with admirers.
My mural depicts a representation of children in the inner city or from inner city communities that face challenging circumstances such as poverty, single parenting, and this shrunken ability to make positive decisions or choices. With that, the mural also depicts through the use of bright colors and the use of playful organic shapes and lines. It depicts this sense of hope and possibilities for change.
My mural is the big green mural with the women and the mushrooms. It's really about sexual coercion and sexual harassment and how these incidents can have long-lasting effects on women as they go through their lives. I kind of show that the idea with the mushrooms and how the mushrooms growing from them are like a parasite and how these issues can affect them.
Ubuntu, I am because we are. This is what I chose to depict for my new mural for Water Lane, and it really just shows the contrast and complement of Jamaica and Africa. So this mural, I wanted to show the difference just between, I guess, our mindset of how we see ourselves and who we were really called to be. So it shows your man and woman, which is your king and your queen, and then also a woman with the baby at her breast, epitomizing just the strength of a woman, and with the basket on her head, a bucket or basket of water. So water is life, woman being the life giver. But it shows even more, the great blue mountains, quote unquote, that's Jamaica, the highest peak. It goes further up, the giraffe, which most people know by now is my spirit animal, but it's also a gentle giant.
What we're trying to do is to remove that stigma and help us to see the beauty of downtown. Downtown Kingston is very, very special. It has a lot of assets through its heritage, its history.
Transforming and rebranding downtown Kingston is the mission of Kingston Creative, a non-profit arts organization.
We're founded in about 2017, and we're really centered around creative people. So our theory is that if you can empower the amount of creative people we have in Jamaica and enable them to succeed, they will then in turn employ people from their families, their communities, and together we'll get, growth in our creative economy. We'll have a healthy creative ecosystem.
You can take a stroll down Water Lane to fully experience, grasp, and get lost in the stories on the wall.
So we've partnered with the KSAC and with the Tourism Enhancement Fund and the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. And we're developing this walkway that goes east-west. It connects our National Gallery on Orange Street, and then you walk along Water Lane and it connects you back with our museums that are on East Street. So it's a natural progression. We used to just walk up and down this lane as we're going on our art walk. And then we started talking to the owners and creating these murals. And now we have about 65 new murals in downtown that we've created since 2018.
Artists and other creatives can also benefit from a creative hub and other initiatives. This includes the recently concluded Catapult program, an emergency grant for creatives.
It allowed creatives to go on an artist residency for 2 months and they were paid $3,000 US. It allowed them to put their work online and they're paid $500 US. It really was a process of giving creatives grants so they could continue creating during the pandemic. We reached over 1,210 creatives in 26 different countries across the region with this partnership with the American Friends of Jamaica. It was our biggest grant to date. We've just signed a $1.295 million US partnership with the IDB. This is a 3-year partnership to explore what happens at the intersection of creativity and technology.
Kingston Creatives is also a new member of the Global Cultural Districts Network and is listed among others such as Paris, London, and Dubai. Thanks to the efforts and partnership of Kingston Creative, downtown Kingston is well on its way to become a vibrant art district and a space for people to really enjoy our rich culture.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
I will we have to celebrate it. They say the people them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, burn up. Them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We are collect medal, panta fight, you know. Medal. Amount of tongue we give them, you know.
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre.
Why pre?
Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
If you download the app to get the updates then.
We are out of time on the show. We have another already in production for your viewing pleasure tomorrow. Visit our YouTube channel or website, jis.gov.jm, for more content like this. We welcome your feedback, so let your voice be heard on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages. This has been Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do enjoy the rest of your Sunday and see you next time.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.